Good morning, and welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living here at the Four Points Sheraton off of Airport Boulevard. We welcome you in person as well as through technology. My name is Marianne Atwell Hardy, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here. And we're going to start today the way we always start, which is a meditation. I'm going to do a reading, and then we'll have silence, and then I'll bring you back out. So at this point, I invite you to just move around, settle in, take a deep breath in. Sometimes it helps to count one on the in breath, one on the out breath, two on the in breath, two on the out breath. This is our moment to just get quiet and go within, to prepare ourselves to listen to what will occur next. I'm going to read a message from Henry Nouwen. He's a Catholic priest. He said, I am less likely to deny my suffering when I learn how God uses it to mold me and draw me closer. I will be less likely to see my pains as interruptions to my plans and more able to see them as the means for God to make me ready to receive. I let Christ live near my hurts and distractions. So take that into meditation, just knowing that all is well, that God is in control, and that our small minds can open up to maybe there are other possibilities going on. So we're going to have some music now. Just get quiet and go within. that came with turning within. Holding on to that truth that all is well. All is well. So either staying in quiet or coming back out. It's so delicious. I'm having a hard time coming out. I just invite you to hold on to that and join us again in about 15 minutes. Thank you for being here, for preparing this space, both virtually and in person. This space and place where we can all open our hearts, open our minds, open our ears to whatever will come next. And the service will start at 10:15. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, whether you are joining us here at 4 Points by Sheridan or whether you have invited us into your homes today. We're very glad that you are participating in our service. Thank you so very much. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the privilege and the honor of being this community's spiritual director. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. And at Centers for Spiritual Living, we believe that there is one power and presence, the creative energy back of everything that there is, seen and unseen. We believe that we were created in its image and likeness, and as such, we too are creative, and that in fact we are creating the experiences of our lives every moment of every day, whether we are doing so consciously or unconsciously. And so we come together on Sundays and Wednesdays on Zoom and for different social events to support each other as we walk through this spiritual path and to remind each other who we are as divine emanations of God. And we love each other up, and we just celebrate life and our relationship to it and our relationship with each other. So thank you so very much for being here today. The upcoming week is very busy in the world. Uh, Initially began as an opportunity to celebrate the combined birthdays of President George Washington and President Abraham Lincoln, but now really utilized to celebrate all of our former presidents, who they were at the time of their service and all of the things that they did for us as they served our country. Tuesday, Fat Tuesday, celebration of Mardi Gras. It reflects the practice of eating rich and fatty foods before Lent actually begins on Wednesday. So Wednesday is the beginning of Lent. It's Ash Wednesday, and it's formally commemorates the 40 days that Jesus spent fasting in the desert and enduring the temptations of Satan. So, it's that time of the year when we choose something we're going to let go of, or in our case, we might instead choose to be for something and not against something by choosing something that we're going to really powerfully step into during those 40 days. So, however you choose to do it, I am knowing ease and grace around all of it for everyone. Scott Aubrey says of this Ash Wednesday, regardless of our faith tradition, Ash Wednesday can be a good reminder to turn our focus to the divine. It invites us to release the illusion of separation and to remember that God abides in our innermost being. Courting the presence of the indwelling spirit reminds us of our oneness with the divine and with all of life. It opens our generous hearts and moves us into being in service to others. And Bruce Epperly says, how can we not rejoice in the color purple or pause in the wonder of a baby's birth? How can we be oblivious to what Gerald Manley Hopkins calls the dearest freshness deep down things? Ash Wednesday causes us to pause, notice, wake up, and discover that God is in this place. So just a couple, we're also busy here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. So just quickly, a few announcements. I want to remind you that there is a list of all of these on the welcome table out front, and it's also on our website or on the Wednesday newsletters. So please keep abreast of all of that, because it just sometimes takes so long to tell you what everything is. So today we're having a new member orientation. So if you are new to the community and want to know a little bit more about the community, then please come and join us for that. It'll begin probably around 11:30 or 12. Next weekend, the awesome Amy Steinberg is returning to our community after a few years of obviously not being able to be here. But she will do the message and the music for the service next week. And then also following the service, we'll be doing a concert. Now, if you've never heard Amy Steinberg or experienced Amy Steinberg, you really need to. She is amazing. So please join us for that. There's a suggested love offering of $20, and you could please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org. Friday, March 10th, we're having a game night. And on Sunday, March 12th, so that weekend, is our annual town hall meeting. Now, during that town hall meeting, we'll be talking about all things center. So if you want to get caught up on everything that's going on, meet the leaders, meet the practitioners, those kinds of things, then please join us for our town hall meeting. And lastly, I would just like to say, save the date for our meditation retreat. The retreat is from 5 o'clock on Friday evening, June 9th, through 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon on June 11th. We're reminding you early so that you can get it on your calendar and get your work scheduled around us so that you don't miss one single moment of this really amazing and sacred weekend. The retreat is held at St. Francis Springs Prayer Center in Stoneville, North Carolina. You can register with a $50 deposit through our website. The cost is $300 for a double room and $400 for a single room. So please consider treating yourself to this really amazing and wonderful weekend. Thank you. Thank you to the lovely Marianne Hardy, one of our licensed practitioners, for her beautiful meditation that set the stage and expanded the container for our service to unfold within. So thank you very much, Marianne. And speaking of Marianne, please welcome her back to the pulpit.
Good morning again. The theme for the year 2023 is Living Out Loud. And our theme for the month of February is Curiosity is a Superpower. Rev Dusty's talk title today is The World is an Oyster. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement, as this is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. So I invite you in this moment to get quiet again, to go inside, just to help prepare yourself. Open your heart and mind to the message that will follow. And just listen to the sounds of the crystal bowls and follow their music until the end. invite you to bring your attention back into your bodies, back into the room that you're in. Please join me for our sacred ceremony. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by the ceremony. Please welcome Susan and Eileen, who will be assisting us this morning. Thank you both. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you. I now invite you to turn within as I speak a word of blessing on this today and this service. Recognizing in this now moment that amazing power and source of good and love and joy, whatever name that you may affix to it, God or Spirit, universe, love, divine, there is only one. That source breathes us, fuels us, funds us in every conceivable way. It is everywhere, all at once. There is nowhere that it is not. I know that I am one with that source. That I am a spiritual being, having a spiritual experience in this human body. I know that is the truth of me, as I know that is the truth of each within the sound of my voice, each sentient being, that we are all one. At the core of who we are is love, and peace, and joy. I speak a word of blessing on today's service, this sacred moment for us to gather in fellowship, blessing our amazing Reverend Esty as she comes forward with the wisdom that has flowed through her, that has come through her as she prepares for this talk, for her leadership in this community, and for the love that she represents and gives to each of us. I speak a word of blessing on Lola and Dave as they come forward with their gift of song, that wonderful celebration of music. I speak a word of blessing on Mary Ann for her beautiful meditation, and a word of blessing on Ava for her service in the AV department, allowing us to be on the internet and available to those watching now and all of those that will watch this service in the future. And I bless Susan for joining us this morning to help us prepare this room. And I bless each of you
our beloved community. Whether you're here today in person at 4 Points or watching us online or watching this in the future, we couldn't do this without you, and you are the reason that we're here. And I speak a word of blessing on this service itself, knowing that it will speak to our hearts, that with our open minds we will grow a little more in our spiritual journey, and that we will take this message today throughout the week and allow it to sink in, allow its wisdom to enrich our lives even more. And for all these blessings, I am truly grateful, and I ask you to anchor this with me by saying, "And so it is." The reading for today is from Joshua Chunman Kang. He is an author and the founding pastor of New Life Vision Church in the Koreatown area of LA. He says, "Through sufferings, I learned what life is all about and who we are as humans. I also learned the depth of the Word of God from the sufferings I went through. I experienced God's hidden and disguised blessings. There are reasons and lessons for every suffering. It is a mystery that sufferings are like teachers. They can leave us when we have learned their lessons well, but they stay with us as long as we need to learn those lessons. When we encounter similar difficulties again and again, they are intended to have the teaching effect of many homework assignments in the life of a student. Most students despise homework assignments, but it is through the repetition of these assignments that the student becomes a master." And now, please welcome our musicians for the day, Lola and Dave Youngman.
Good morning. Yeah, we're going to do a little tune by Madeline Payro. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but I love her music. Instead of feeling bad, be glad you got somewhere to go. Instead of feeling sad, be happy that you're not all alone. Instead of feeling low, get high on everything you love. Instead of wasting time, feel good about what you're dreaming of. Instead of trying to win something you never understood, just play the game you know eventually you'll love so good. It's silly to pretend you have something that you don't own. Let people be themselves and you'll be yourself. Instead of feeling broke, buck up and get yourself in the black. Instead of losing hope, touch up with things that feel out of whack. Instead of being old, be young, because you know you are. Instead of feeling cold, let sunshine into your heart. Instead of acting crazy, chasing things that make you mad, just keep your heart ahead, it'll lead you back to what you had. With every step you're closer to the place you need to be. It's up to you to keep the love in your heart. just keep your heart ahead and lead you back to what you had. With every step you're closer to the place you need to be. But it's up to you to keep the love in your heart. Instead of feeling bad, be glad. You can find someone to love instead of feeling sad. Be happy. There's a God of love instead of feeling low. Remember, you're never on your own instead of feeling sad. Be happy for the love in your heart. Not too late for a brand new start. So be glad there's love in your heart.
Thank you so very much, Dave and Lola. Always wonderful reminder that we have a choice in the matter of our lives and our experience of it, and that we can choose to see the glass half full rather than half empty. So today, my talk title is The World is an Oyster. Now, I would venture to guess that most of us have heard that expression a time or two in our lives, although perhaps you may have heard it more like the world is your oyster. It's an expression that's been around for a long, long time, and it's often said to young people as they begin to embark on their adult life. It simply means that everything is open to everyone, and if one is lucky enough, they could encounter something really special. It can also suggest that the person in question has unlimited opportunities and really a very bright future ahead of them. They can go wherever they want to go, and they can do whatever it is they want to do. On one hand, the metaphor is that if we have an oyster, there is a chance that maybe there will be a pearl within it, which would, of course, right, be a valuable addition to anybody's life. However, the addition is only ours to enjoy if we work hard. Because if you think about it, that oyster is very difficult to open. And it's not going to give up that pearl very easily. So the metaphor would be that if we work hard, and as long as we work hard, we're welcome to the spoils that we may find along the way. On the other hand, many people believe that pearls are a sign of transformation, a sign of spiritual healing and growth. The insights that we gain from their developmental process are believed to assist us in our journey of self-discovery, to become more aware of our inner power, to live a more meaningful life, and to really fulfill our quest to become a better version of ourselves. The spiritual meaning is one of strength and beauty and growth and purity and wisdom and truth and a gateway to spiritual knowledge. Pearls symbolize the journey of life and its hardships, as well as the benefits and rewards that come from really persevering and from our depth of faith. The pearl serves as a reminder to stay strong and to never give up in the face of adversity or hardship. They are often seen as representation of the divine feminine, or the fact that the power of femininity has the ability to bring about positive change in the world. Let a woman do it, right? The beauty of a pearl is not only external, but it's also internal. They are said to assist us to connect with our inner wisdom, allowing us to really access the deeper parts of our soul. Pearls embody the idea that absolutely nothing is permanent and that every moment of our lives can be an opportunity for growth and for evolution, opportunities for us to learn what we came here to learn. They also represent a willingness to accept change and to adapt to any situation. The power of a pearl is that they are a reminder to stay humble, to be grateful, and to follow our intuition. They are a reminder that life is a journey and that the only way to truly succeed is to really continue to have faith and to keep moving forward. Pearls are a symbol of strength and resilience and a reminder that no matter how hard things get, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. The very process of making a pearl ties us to the wisdom that comes from experience. Something really on the really good category about being older, right? So it comes from experience and from overcoming hardships to grow stronger and even more beautiful than we already are. Now, this morning I have 3 points to share with you. The first is the oyster, the sand, and the pearl. So a pearl begins, right, with a tiny grain of sand or some other irritant that prompts the oyster to secrete a fluid that is very much like the fluid that they use to create their shell in the first place. Now, they do this in order to cover and to smooth that irritation. And they do it, that they repeat that process again and again and again, which really creates those layers of the pearl. The irritant ignites the oyster into action, into an action that actually relieves the discomfort that the oyster is feeling. It intuitively uses that which is already present within its environment in order to be able to do this. We too can transform our world and the world around us by addressing that which is causing discomfort in our lives. The spiritual growth that comes out of difficult circumstances might be compared to that oyster and the pearl. And like the oyster, we may find that we already have everything that we need on this journey within us. In the process of the oyster taking that irritant and transforming it by coating it with its essence, the world is given a beautiful gift. The pearl. Similarly, this is ours to do. This is ours to do both within ourselves and out in the world. If the oyster did not choose to address that grain of sand that caused its discomfort, then we would never experience the beauty of a pearl. If we never address our challenges or the irritating moments or relationships of our lives and learn from them and grow through them and transcend beyond them, then we may never experience the person that we came here to be or the life that we came here to live. We are constantly being shaped and curated by adversity and by our own self-imposed limitations. It is up to us how we take these opportunities and to grow from them. or to deal with them, right? It's up to us. Lola sang about it. We have choice. This means, right, that we have that choice, that we have a choice in how we are going to form ourselves around our circumstances. Now, we can choose to react negatively by showing up as something less than our highest self. And through that choice, then, we continue to experience the same life that we have been living. Or we can choose to embrace the circumstances positively and to learn our lessons gracefully and eventually become a beautiful round pearl, living a life that we absolutely love to live. Pearls are not made in a day, however. It can take up to 6 years to make a freshwater pearl, or up to 20 years to make a bigger saltwater pearl. Changing negative habits into positive patterns cannot happen overnight. Perhaps in a moment of grace, there could be that kind of shift, but typically it does not happen overnight. Practice makes perfect, and we have to deal with it day by day by day. We can learn lesson by lesson, layer by layer, eventually becoming better and more beautiful because of it. By facing the hardships of life and constantly overcoming our challenges, we grow and evolve. Ernest Holmes says we do not change all of the patterns of our thoughts in a moment. Rather, it takes place little by little until gradually the old thought patterns become transformed into new ones by some inner alchemy of the mind. Now, the invitation is to not ignore that which brings us discomfort in our lives. The invitation is to look at it directly. Do not blame someone or something else for its presence. Do not make excuses for why it's there. And do not believe that there is nothing that we can do to make some changes around it, because we can. The invitation is to bring it front and center in our hearts and in our consciousness, to do the inner work, to bring forward what we already have in our lives, and to use curiosity to reveal even more greater possibilities. The invitation is to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the irritant will slowly be transformed into the pearl. And that when we are ready, then we can take that pearl and reveal it to the world. This is the pearl of great price. The pearl of great price that is talked about in the Bible, and it's our job to share it boldly. The second point is the fire and passion to reveal God's highest idea through you. For the oyster's pearl to be revealed, the shell must be open. And they often use heat or an actual fire to perform that action, to make that shell come open. Now, this can be true for us as we begin to reveal our pearls to the world. Often change or new ideas requires a strong conviction and a really heavy dose of that fire-filled passion that is sometimes, really ignited within us to activate that movement out into the world. This is the idea that while almost all people want to change, not everybody does. Not everybody does. Not everybody chooses to do that. That's why it's important to really be able to understand what motivates us to change. And not only is it important to understand what motivates us to change, it's also important to become aware of the strong motivation that we may have that may be under the surface, that may be unconscious, to not change. Even when we are truly inspired to change, we may have some stronger motivations within us to not do that. They may be holding us back. Allison Lewis says, whether it's pulling you backward or pushing you forward, motivation is that inner drive that compels you to live the way that you do. For example, we could be motivated by the fear of the unknown. And the fear of the unknown will be a fear that will stop us. It will stop us dead in our tracks. It will not allow us to grow or to evolve. Or we could be motivated by a desire to grow. And in that case, then the perceived cost of moving forward must be greater than the pain of staying where we are. You know, when you just can't handle it one more moment. Anise Nin says, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. The bottom line is that our experiences and choices shape our motivations. Our experiences, and more to the point, what we say about our experiences form our paradigms or the context of our life. Now, paradigms are based on our experiences and our perceptions, and they are very real to us regardless of their validity. They could absolutely not be the truth, but they are so real to us that we will believe that they are the truth. They have a dramatic impact on what motivates us. So you can see how it would be so important for us to know, to be aware of the experiences that we've had and what we've told ourselves about them and what we're believing because of that, because that affects what motivates us. And what motivates us is how we live our life. So the invitation is to do the inner work, to become aware of our context for living, the paradigms that we are living our lives from, and the motivations that are either pulling us back or pushing us forward, to do the inner work, to be sure that our context for living, or the paradigms that we are living our lives from, or the motivations that are either pulling or pushing us, are working for our benefit. Are they supporting our lives? Are they holding us up? Or are they holding us back? Are they allowing us to fly, or are they keeping us held down? When we live from a context that is firmly grounded in the truth of who we are, divine emanations of the divine, as Heather said in her prayer, spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, then we recognize that what is on the inside, what is within us, is far more important and so much more powerful than anything on the external side of us, anything in the world of form. We understand that by radiating that thing, that pearl that is within us, out into the world, then both individually and collectively, then we bring unto ourselves and to others an experience of that thing itself. So if we want the world to be more loving, we have to be more loving. If we want the world to be more peaceful, we have to be more peaceful. And that brings me to the third point, which is be the change you want to see in the world. We all seem to have a strong desire to see the world change. especially in conditions that really cause discomfort in our hearts, but we don't always know how to get started. We don't always feel like we're enough to do that. It can feel overwhelming, and often we give up before we even begin. Many of us want change in our lives, but we're not necessarily willing to change the way we walk in the world in order to create the space for that change to actually happen. Most of us know all of this stuff, but what we have to do now is to not just know it intellectually, not just sit up on that mountaintop in a cave someplace, because we're living here in the world. So we have to take that knowledge and we have to embody it. We have to use it practically in our lives. So the first thing that comes up for me around this idea, be the change, is that first word, be. To be or not to be, right? That is the question. We have a choice in the matter. When we were created, we were given free will. We can choose at any given moment to be however we wish to be. We can choose to be or to express the divine light that we truly are at our core, or we can choose to be or to express something that doesn't look anything like that. We can choose to stay in our old ways of being, or we can courageously, compassionately, and gracefully be at cause in the matter of our lives. To be at cause in the matter of our lives, not battered about by this wind or that gale force, but to be at cause in the matter of our lives. Leo Tolstoy says, everyone wants to change the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. Now, in our community, I would challenge that statement, because I believe we understand how change works. I believe that we know how visions become realized. I believe that most of us understand that in order to experience a world that works for everyone, we have to be an example of that possibility in our own personal lives first. And then collectively in our community lives, and then as a global expression. I believe that most of us understand that in order for the world to change, we have to change. I believe that most of us understand that while none of us can change the entire world all by ourselves, that we can, by making small amendments, some small adjustment in our own lives, and then encouraging others to do the same, that we can co-create change. And that when we do so, a snowball effect occurs that will ultimately affect the entire planet over time. I believe that at the very least, most of us are willing to be willing to change, especially when we know that when we do so, we are serving not only ourselves, but each other and the entire world. Be the change. It's an invitation, or perhaps a request from the universe, or maybe even a command, if you will. Be the change. When we are presented with a challenging or irritating situation in our lives or in the world, something that is calling for our attention, we can approach it one small step at a time, like the oyster, one layer at a time. To do so, we're encouraged to start by changing our own thoughts and ultimately our own actions as we become, over time, the change that we want to see in our own personal world. And once we do that, then we're encouraged to allow that revelation to guide our actions out into the larger community. A big vision, such as a world that works for everyone, can be very daunting. Focusing only on the next action allows each of us to make progress, not only individually, but collectively, without feeling so overwhelmed. We don't have to take on everything all at once. The invitation is to start small and to just take that first step. Don't wait. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. I mean, we're the ones we've been waiting for. So begin. Take that first step. The invitation is to speak up and take action. If there are issues over which we feel some concern or some anger or some frustration, issues that we feel might not be getting enough attention or are moving too slowly towards change, then the invitation is to use our voice to bring attention to them. The invitation is to become educated on the issues and what is being done to address them. Be an advocate for that change. Instead of just complaining, come up with some solutions and be willing to make an appointment to sit down with someone who really has the power to be able to make changes. The invitation is to speak up and take action from a place of being for something and not against something. From this space, we're more open to possibility. We make different choices and we ask different questions and we draw unto ourselves other like-minded people who want to make a positive, powerful, and purposeful difference in the world. We call those people unto us by who we are being. This is the activity and the action that is demanded of us if we want to change the world. So the invitation is to recognize the challenges in our lives as opportunities for learning and be willing to embrace them and to grow and evolve through them. To discover the fire and the passion within us to reveal God's highest idea through us and to be willing to be the change that we wish to see in the world. The bottom line is that as we transform ourselves, as we transform our individual consciousness, it aids in the transformation of the collective consciousness of our communities, our nation, and of the entire planet. We can change the world. By living our lives out loud, we can change the world. One oyster, one grain of sand, one pearl, one individualized consciousness, one challenging moment or relationship, and one divinely ordained gift that we are willing to share at a time. And so it is. Thank you all. So I invite you to close your outer eyes and turn within as I speak a word of prayer about and for each of us today. Truly knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt as I turn within, that I turn away from the world of form. I turn away from any experience of being against, any experience of frustration or doubt or worry or anger or fear. And I turn inward to the center of my being, to that space and place that I call God, that is the very essence of wisdom, of peace, of joy, of creativity, of abundance, of freedom, and of unconditional love. I know that I am one with this power and presence. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely the truth of each and every single one of us here at 4 Points by Sheridan. Each and every single one of our community that is at home watching this service. All sentient beings on the planet, we are all connected by that golden thread of God's stuff that weaves itself throughout all of life. We are all divine ambassadors of the divine. And it is from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each and every one that knows what it knows, that knows who and what it is, that knows that it is greater than anything in the external world could ever possibly be, that knows that it is connected to us in ways that can never be broken, that is always ready, willing, and able to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth, that is always seeking to be expressed through and as us. And so I claim ease and grace for each of us around answering that call, around moving through the challenging and frustrating and irritating moments of our lives by remembering who and what we are, by allowing ourselves to look that irritating moment in the eye, to bring it up to be healed, to choose to see it in a different way, to choose to allow ourselves to learn the lessons that it has come to teach us. That like the pearl or like the oyster, we have everything we need within us to move through those moments. This too shall pass. That we have everything we need within ourselves to transmute and transform and transcend that experience, to create something of great beauty from it, out of it, through it. And like the oyster, we too are capable of creating these pearls, of recognizing them within us and being willing to bring them out into the world, to be the change we wish to see, and to do so with fire and passion. We're doing the work that God has sent us to do. What is not to be passionate about? And I'm so grateful to know this truth, so grateful to speak these words, so grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes, that my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. So I speak them and I release them with love and gratitude, and full expectation of their manifestation, letting go and letting God be God. I invite everyone to anchor these words for themselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. So it is. Amen. Thank you all so very much. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area. Together, we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways that you can give, and they're on your screen, whether you're at home or here. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Text the word GIVE using the following number, 919-230-8445, or mail your gift to our office at PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. Please place your hand over your heart with your gift or with an intention for yourselves or for the community, and we'll say our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. And so it is. As the baskets are being passed, please welcome the amazing Lola and Dave Youngman.
If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of who you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and that emptiness you felt will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Lord knows dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone tear them away. Yeah, hold on, there will be tomorrow. In time, you'll find the way. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fear aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. That a hero lies in you. A hero lies in you.
Beautiful. Thank you both. If you would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. We love praying for you. On the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We'll get that prayer and send it out to all the ministers and practitioners, knowing those truths for you throughout the week. If you would like to dedicate a flower dedication for anyone or for anything, please send an email to info@trianglecsl.org or to Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Now, in the comfort of your own home at home or here at 4 Points, please stand for our February affirmations. This is a call and response, and please repeat it with meaning. And there are some sheets on your chairs if they are easier for you to read, and feel free to take those home with you. Recognizing myself as a magnificent expression of the divine, I choose to live life to the fullest.
Recognizing myself as a magnificent expression of the divine, I choose to live life to the fullest.
Knowing that Spirit is always for me, I lay aside my fear and step confidently into the unknown.
Knowing that Spirit is always for me, I lay aside my fear and step confidently into the unknown.
Leaning into my faith, I am free to seek out the beauty that is beneath the surface.
Leaning into my faith, I am free to seek out the beauty that is beneath my surface.
I dive in with curiosity and allow the joy of God to be expressed through me.
I dive in with curiosity and allow the joy of God to be expressed through me.
I revel in new discoveries and the unlimited possibilities they bring.
I revel in new discoveries and the unlimited possibilities they bring.
I am in the flow.
I am in the flow.
I am a catalyst for change.
I am a catalyst for change.
I am expressing my divine calling right here and right now.
I am expressing my divine calling right here and right now.
And so it is.
So it is.
Oh, please be seated. Turn within once again as I speak a word of gratitude for this service today. Recognizing Source, that power back of all of creation, knowing that it is the oyster, it is the pearl, it is the sand. It is each of us living this life, loving one another, learning, growing. I'm so grateful for today's message, for the pearls of wisdom that will stay with us throughout this week, giving us an opportunity to take that message into our everyday lives and grow by its teaching and allow it to open our minds and our hearts a little more into all of those steps that we can take to be that change in the world. I'm so grateful for Reverend Dusty and for each of you to participate today. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't want to. I'm grateful for the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, this loving community that allows us to gather and to grow and to embrace one another. And I'm grateful to Spirit for that love, for that connection, for that guidance, for that support. And please anchor this prayer with me with our words, and so it is.
Let's stand and do our closing congregational song, Gratitude Before Me. I believe we have some music coming up. For me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me. Gratitude behind me. Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for joining us online. Have a really amazing week. I love you all.